Momentum is a really underrated kind of thing in this game. If you're losing or if they made a good play or whatever, that really can kind of get in your head. So
they're all yelling and screaming, you can hear it.
David's gone, Zed's gone!
You got to make sure that you do it back to them.
He's dead. Yes, that's it, let's go!
And it's just like, do I want to win next game? Like, do I really think we could do this?
Win the game. End game now!
Once we make like a good play, the momentum we just try to like take it from there.
Welcome back to the 2013 North American LCS Summer Promotion Tournament. I'm Rivington Bislin III, and this is Sam Kobe Hartman Kensler. Thanks for joining me today.
You're welcome.
It's been a while. Let's get some games down. It's now time for our second showdown of the day, Team MRN versus Velocity Esports. Yesterday, Velocity was smashed in their first game against the Salad Bar, but came back to take 2 in a row and advanced to today's game.
Yeah, Maple Street's late game twitch turned the tide and started Velocity's comeback in game number 2. Velocity's Vial Rose, he didn't really have spectacular solo plays, but his shot calling, and he also kept them really focused.
Absolutely, but today they're up against the Ultimate Comeback Kids in Team MRN. It was in the spring qualifier that Mega Zero and the guys not only earned a spot in the LCS, but they brought back the old adage of getting MRN.
Yeah, but after that exciting spring qualifier, MRN struggled once they got into the LCS.
Yeah, they did.
Even though they ended up in 7th place in the spring split, they have had 10 weeks playing against the best North American teams for practice, though. So they still are the favorites coming into this match. Plus, they have that best theory crafting Riven North America in Mega Zero there. For those of you who don't know, there was a Best Riven 1 vs. 1 tournament over the weekend, which was extremely exciting, and he came out the victor with a very nice teleport strategy.
Absolutely. He put it out on the social media tweets that he said, I'm actually not one to toot my own horn, but I think I'm better than everyone anyways. And he proved it. But the best Riven NA and MRN will need to use everything they've learned in the LCS's spring split to take out a very confident Velocity squad.
Playing against MRN, I'm super like pumped. I'm super confident. Like I know my team will play well.
When they qualified for LCS, they weren't the favorite team, and they took out Quantic. So I think we could kind of pull off the same thing against them here.
Obviously, they're a really good team now that they've had that whole season in the LCS. Our work's cut out for us.
I guess their mindset's kind of like we should just crush these guys and get back to business. But once again, like we can't be too overconfident.
We know that we've had all the LCS experience, and we are a much more seasoned team than they are.
All the things that other teams have beaten us with, we're going to try and do on them.
We still practice, even though we're confident. We don't want to underestimate them going into it.
Now that we've heard what the teams have to say, it's time to take a look at the lineups. On the blue side, it's Team MRN. Mega Zero in the top lane, Claky D in the jungle, Echo in mid, Niantanzo and Heartbeat at AD and support.
And on the red side, it's Velocity Esports. Chris is up top. NK Inc. is in the jungle. Vial Rose is their mid laner. Maple Street is down bottom with Evanescus as support.
And before we get into this champ select, let's take a look at who you think will snag today's second summer split berth. According to LOLesports.com, 63% of you think that Team MRN will win today's match and earn a spot in the summer split.
Getting a little closer here.
It is.
They've seen the devastation that Quantic wrought, and they're thinking these ones are going to be much closer. So
I think this is really the biggest of the toss-ups, if there were any to be considered throughout these summer promotion matches. Between the teams, you ask anybody. I asked Mashme as we were standing there before he came up for his interview. I was like, who do you think? He's like, I don't know. Do you have a coin? It's like, what's going on here? But we are into Champion Select, so we'll figure out what these teams do have cooking for each other as we see Draven and Twisted Fate banned out right off the bat, directed at Echo and Maple Street.
Yeah, we saw before, Maple Street's Draven. He's definitely one of those players that's known for a specific champion.
Yeah.
Getting that one right off the board early. He was awarded a 3-minute and something first blood to win their last matches yesterday, so they definitely want to get that one off the table early, and taking a long time for the second ban here.
Yeah, they're going back and forth for this. They don't like to see the rumble that came out before him. I'd be surprised if we see the Shen stick as well with NK Inc. and both Chris on Velocity.
Yeah, probably. And whenever you see them take this long in bans, it means that the first ban from Velocity actually caught them off guard. Because bans that's one of the things, you plan out all 3 before you even get there. And if you're taking this long deciding on your second and third bans here, then it means they weren't expecting Twisted Fate ban, which is one of the most common bans.
Velocity's like, what? Yes, boom. There's the Shen. They forced it out. They picked the Renekton, and they said they'll probably leave it up for us.
Yeah, and now we have the answer here from Velocity. Chris, he likes to go with his 1v1. He's a very aggressive solo laner, and he'll probably pick something to either punish that Shen, or they'll just go with a complete swap and do the AD and support in the 2v1 lane. And
the thing is, we have to remember that we haven't seen MRN play in a while. Yes, they've been scrimming. Obviously, they're still playing the game. You kind of fall out of practice without a few days of it. And right now, for the Summer Promotion Tournament, you need to be on your game. Quantic was, and that's the kind of style teams are bringing right now. So we'll have to see if MRN has kind of, not gotten themselves in LCS form without having the LCS to play in.
And we talked about close games before. Velocity had a close game to even get to this spot. So they had to concentrate a lot on the last match and didn't have quite as much time to prepare for MRN, though they knew they were going to end up having to beat them at some point.
So we see the Elise locked in from Chris. This will be the first time, and if that does stay a Shen in the top lane, then how do you somewhat build that, right? Because you want to stay away from health, but with Shen, you kind of want all that.
Yeah, if you're Shen, you mean, and how do you build it?
Yeah.
That early Aegis of the Legion that we just saw in the last the Shens that were going up against Rumble. Yeah. That's exactly what you want to do there. Take a page out of Quantic's book because it's a pretty good book.
And it looks like they did leave Riven open, so they're going to go ahead and lock that in. So Shen won't even be in the top lane. That goes to Claky D in the jungle, and they give Heartbeat Thresh. A lot of the supports have not a lot of the supports, but supports have kind of fallen off in these past few games or weeks as the first picks right off the bat.
Yeah, and Thresh, he was considered one of the top 3 supports for a really long time, and he just got some recent balance changes where we moved damage from his Q, the passive damage, over to his Flay instead, which has balanced it out a little bit, and he doesn't have quite the ridiculous early game bullying in the lane phase, but people are still picking him for the pulls and the utility of that Dark Passage. The Lantern saves are always very exciting, and when you add those onto something like Tristana that already has built-in ones, it's so hard to take out that AD carry in the late game.
Also, I've yet to see a nice Lantern Shen gank coming in, so it'll be cool, right? The Jarvan one's always fun to see. The Shen taunt after the Lantern grab will be nice. These guys start giving us a show. But as we look at Velocity Esports, their team, I don't even really just oriented to kind of win the laning phase. It's all over. They have crowd control for the late game fight, but they have kind of everything on their team.
Yeah, they do. They have that crowd control even coming from the AD and support lane there. Lulu's got a good knock-up, and Varus always, he's one of the most CC heavy ADs out there. They do have some nice objective control, even whenever you have Nasus on your team, popping that ultimate.
Absolutely.
We've seen him solo dragons several times already this weekend, and even with the nerf to that Wither, where the attack speed debuff is halved in the late game, it's still very effective in the late game, and people are still using him. That balance change did not scare anyone away from the banana dog.
I'm guessing we won't see, and this is a best of 5, so we could see anything for the first game, but maybe the first few pitches are going to be just let them go by, see what happens from both teams. I don't think we're going to have the invade here.
The invade they've dropped off a lot really lately, especially with the reduction in fortitude elixirs.
Right.
When people were grabbing like 3 or 4 of those on a team a game, they were just like,
gold. Boom.
All right, ready to go. Let's do that level 1 invade and go for it. But the level 1 invades are also very telling, because that's really what decides the entire rest of the game. We've seen Quantic, a successful level 1 invade, they just steamroll that all the way into, for like 10 minutes after that, they keep the advantage and they don't let you get back on the front page.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, match 2 here of day 2 in our summer promotion week. It's Velocity Esports versus MRN. Velocity making it through yesterday here to face off. Both of these teams looking MRN to get back into the LCS. Velocity to get a berth into for the first time. MRN on the blue side, Velocity on the red.
It's very funny that we have Mega Zero using that Riven. And a lot of people would actually expect it since he's got so much practice last weekend. He was playing it for 2 days straight, and he was only playing Riven. He tweeted out, yeah, it's weird to play another champion after playing Riven so much. Where are all my dashes? Where's my mobility? So he's definitely very comfortable on this champion at this specific point in time.
Never has a team ever felt so comfortable leaving a teammate alone. There is the, oh, get it! The cocoon on Niantan, so he's able to jump away, though. Doesn't use the Lantern. It looks like nobody's going to flash for that. And they do keep it safe.
So even level 1, like we talked about, if you have a Thresh and Tristana, it's basically the safest combo that you can have for AD and support. Right there, they didn't even need all their escapes. He could have clicked the Lantern. He already had Rocket Jump too. He's going to get out of that one. It was a nice blind cocoon. That's really been the strategy when invading through the tri-bush there. You can get out of the fog of war, you can see right there, and then fire your blind skill shot CC over to try and catch somebody. And really all they accomplished there was, forcing the level up into Rocket Jump. Luckily for Marn, no summoners burned.
Yeah, everybody's staying away from that early fight. They know they're in the jungle, so they're just going to put the wards down for the invade section that we were talking about. It looks like they will invade a little bit, and in hindsight, when you think about it, it's been like the kind of 2-minute, 30-second invade where the support will come down, put a ward on the blue later, and then they go back in. So we'll see if that happens as well.
So we have, in response to the invade from Velocity, Marn going to start out on their red as well, and Chris has to be a little bit careful here, but he's going to collect some information for his team, as he does see Klakey has answered with a red steal of his own.
So also with this Kobe, it looks like AD carry supports are going to return, or not return, but head to that bottom lane to start off, and we will get the matchup of Chris versus Mega Zero in the top lane.
Yeah, so Mega Zero always wants his 1v1, and to do that, you have to do something to negate the double golem lead that blue team will have, and that was the whole reason that they were going for this red invade. Yes, we did just trade buffs, so nobody really came out ahead there, but we stopped your duo lane bottom from getting their lead as, a side bonus.
Mega Zero putting a bit of pressure on this lane. He's just getting those stacks up, trying to get that damage in if the fight goes down. Level 2 already to the level 1 of Chris, but that should be fast for him. We saw Vile Rose trying to be a little bit of aggressive in the middle as these guys causing each other to chug pots already.
Yeah, so Vile Rose in the last set, he had the one game on Zed that people were just giving him a lot of flack for, and then he played Lux for the rest of it. So no surprise to have him return to Lux. Very safe mid, long range, just looking for picks and, just hoping not to get burst down. That's why she has to be careful and ward up, especially when there is a jungler like Shen. You don't expect Shen to be exceptionally dangerous, but when he has flash taunt up, he's just as effective as, a Jarvan or something coming out of the side bushes, especially on the mid lane on someone squishy like Lux.
And with these mid lanes, you have one Nasus on one side, you have Klakey D on the other on Shen. That could be a focus for both lanes. There's a lot of crowd control that I would work with.
Yeah, since Nasus, he only has that Wither CC, it's a little bit less dangerous in the mid lane since you can, it's a lot shorter, you can get back. But that flash taunt we talked about is a devastating early tool as Klakey looks to use the Lantern Gank.
Oh, there's the Lantern Gank. We just called for it. He delivers, but they didn't connect. They do force the flash, however, in Evaniscus.
So it was pretty well played, but anytime you throw your Lantern backwards, it signals to people, oh, somebody's probably coming in here. And we actually saw last week a few, I forget exactly who it was, who bluffed. They were threshed. They didn't have anyone behind them, and they were going to die. So he threw his Lantern behind him like he had a jungler coming in, and the other lane just backed off. It was just such a beautiful play that really made me smile. So there's a lot of mind games you get with Thresh
too. There's that statistic, the 50% physical, 50% mental deal. There's mind games. Mind games are involved. Coming up on 5 minutes here, we get some aggression from NK Inc. in the top. Well, at least some presence, I should say, from NK Inc. Doesn't look like he's going to get a bite here. Yeah,
we haven't had Mega Zero use his solo build of teleport and starting Doran's Blade that he used through the Best Riven NA tournament, and that's because this is not a solo tournament. This is a team game here, so he's gone with the Rejuve bead there, which has become so much more popular when we've capped the health potion stacks to only 5 health potions allowed in your inventory.
Klakey D, once again, they know the flash is down, and they want to work with that window here.
Yeah, and we'll probably see the same thing here. Another... they
a little too quick.
Messed it up a little bit. He was trying to jerry-rig a sort of a ghetto flash Lantern gank there because he doesn't have his flash up, so he hooks a minion to try and pull himself over to the minion and get more range with the Lantern, but we didn't have Klakey quick enough on the Lantern click there to come with it.
Ace coming out of the sleeves here for Marn as they're trying all the tricks to get this laning phase. And we said before, the laning phase so far is going to be good for him. Echo is, formidable on Ahri. Mega Zero, Best Riven NA, he's not going to lose his lane. So that's safe there. It really relieves pressure on the map, actually.
Oh, yeah. He is doing great up in that top lane. Even with NK Inc. making visits up top, he's beating Chris just single-handedly.
And that beating Chris is 44-29 in CS right now. He's only used a few potions and just working off the rejuve bead and stacking up those runic blade hits. Like 21 or so damage at full stack, he's just going on to Chris with, and he can't stay in the fight. Look, forced to repel out and just back down. He can't even get to his minions.
We have talked about how, you know, Nasus isn't that fearsome of an early game jungler because he doesn't have the hard CC, and he's not, but he is amazing at farming. So he's been clearing out the jungle, and he's ahead of Claykey. We've seen all these the failed lantern ganks that Claykey's been making bottom, and it's actually cost him in CS. Shen is not a very fast clearing jungler, so if you don't get those ganks to work early and you delay that Madred's upgrade, then it's going to be harder for him, really hard for him to catch up to NK Inc. on that Nasus.
Oh, and that's one of those things that can be really frustrating too. You try over and over again, and the one time they hit you back is the time they get the capitalization on it. And they see they're trying to pull it in here. Maple Street kind of put himself in a take me down position, but nobody bit, and it looks like NK Inc. is going to be forced back here. The lane's backing as well. In the top is Seeker's Arm Guard being purchased up here right away by Chris as he gets that.
Yeah, some more mind games there. When does the AD carry come to try and face check you? Here comes NK Inc. with his gank.
Side. It's going to be damage, good damage onto NK Inc. here, but Heartkey can finally fall for the first blood. He's going to go down, but it's going to be backwards. No, it goes to Meniscus, unfortunately. Niantanso is going to be able to pick up 2 in the end. He will not chase, but that's going to be huge for Trist.
So that was a double kill. Both kills going to Niantanso. The first blood money went to Lulu. Yeah. That is not how they wanted it to turn out. Actually backfires right there for Velocity.
Oh, Echo in mid lane. He gets hit up by the Lux passive, but they're each going to take each other down in the draw.
All right, so Echo did get the experience, though, for that one. So tiny win for him. Definitely a draw right there, but we saw both of them going full on. I like that. Plus, Echo still has his flash. So there's a small advantage here. That's going to be Ari returning, and Valro is going to have to play a lot more cautious. Hug that top side of the river where he's got his ward, because he's blind on the bottom side.
And you can see Echo, you know, kind of being able to do that. We see AP champions that have that dive in, going few Dorans early to keep that health up and really allow them to kind of go for a 1v1 if they want.
Yeah, that's really the whole idea behind these Dorans as items, what the design team had in mind. It's the early game items that, you know, you take up a spot in your inventory and it doesn't build into anything, but early game, it's the most effective buy.
You can use it. All right, so we'll see that mana regen. Echo actually coming back to lane after picking up some items, so he's not relying on that just yet. Ward's being cleared here as Velocity looks to start gaining control towards this bottom lane. They know Niantanso just got a double kill, and they want to pressure that.
Yeah, let's look at what happened from that gank bottom. Lulu got the first blood. All she got over Heartbeat over here, you know, is another ward and a Fairy Charm. That's not going to do anything for the lane. Meanwhile, Niantanso's got boots 2 to 0 boots over here for Maple Street.
Oh, Mega Zero with the sidestep dodge, lacing up the Nikes, breaking the ankles of Chris, but Chris makes it out as he limps away. Great play there into the bottom lane. Once again, they go on to Maple Street. The barrier was down. He actually didn't even get the flash in that fight.
So what happened there was Claykey D actually stand united. As soon as he hit 6, you always have to remember that jungle Shen. You know, he hit 6 a little bit later than top lane, so people kind of forget about him. It's that 9 minutes in, and they're going on the dragon now.
I mean, I almost forgot about it. It's been a while since he attempted something bottom lane. They come in with it this time, get a kill again. They think they can pressure the dragon, and they're in a pretty dangerous spot, stuck in the den. But the pressure isn't there from Velocity. There goes the Spirit Rush out. The Charm just misses. They get the double binding. This could be the double kill coming up here for Vile Rose. He does take down one. Heartbeat makes it out. Niantanso just on his backside. The Wither's not going to be enough, but Nasus is going to be able to chase. They pick up another kill on Evaniscus. Niantanso should be able to kite this. He has red buff. What are you doing, NK Inc? NK Inc could be picked up here. It's going to be Echo coming now from Dragon side. If the Charm hits, it's going to be NK Inc going down. The finalize is there. Echo picks up the kill.
Beautiful skill shot from Echo right there, and we just talked about Niantanso's advantage of the double.
Maple Street.
Flash coming in. He doesn't need boots because he's just going to flash on your face. Niantanso, though, the reason he was able to get that kite off was that the double kill that enabled him to get Berserker Greaves. So everything coming full circle here at the dragon fights.
Maple Street dies first, calls a cab, take me to mid, comes back with some kills for his team. He gets one back from earlier when that double kill hit onto Niantanso, but Niantanso picked up another 2 in that fight, so it's only getting harder for Maple Street to really try and balance that out right now. They are 86 to 81 in CS, but 4-0-2 on Trist, whose scary late game is getting scary mid game.
Oh yeah, and Maple Street, you know, he was able to get the boots 1 before he came back here, but we talk about all the time how Tristana, you know, doesn't have the greatest laning phase. Double Lift even said that she has a terrible laning phase, and he never lets Tristana's get out of his lane without, you know, a 50 CS deficit here. This is an amazing start for Tristana. She's just destroying this game, and her late game's going to be beast as we see Mega Zero on the chase once again.
And we realized Mega Zero was going to do this to his top lane. Chris sits there. He knows he has to fight, almost gets it full, and you can see how disheartened he is about it. Mega calmly walking away.
Best Riven NA indeed, both solo and in team games here.
And Chris is doing the right thing. What do? You build a Seeker's Arm Guard, you're stacking it up. You've mitigated with armor. You're still getting crushed down.
Yeah, he's trying his darndest to stay alive here. As we see, Niantanso going to push his advantage. Now that he is so far ahead with the double buffs and the item lead here, they can completely bully out this lane. And that is exactly what you want in a Thresh lane. He will be able to pick up every single soul that drops because they have complete control over the entire bottom area.
I'm going to say he's going to enjoy that. Moving up towards the turret here, they are 12 minutes into this one with a 3K lead in their favor. 8-4 is the kills. They may find their first turret here, and we'll have to see what happens to the lanes. Chris is actually forced now to kind of roam around the jungle and pick up some extra experience as Mega pushes his lane and it gets pushed back. Mega is having a great time top, 106 to 66 in CS. Chain of Corruption coming out, but they do grab the Lantern there, perfectly playing that one. Claky D still comes for safety and probably the rest of this turret.
Yeah, they actually use the Stand United on top of the Lantern. They don't go in for the last few hits on this turret. That's great news for Velocity because even though it's really low and it'll probably drop soon, they don't have, oh, here we go, Mega Zero taking so much.
He is getting caught out, but he's right next to that wall. He may be able to play this to his advantage. The repel goes down. They've used most of the crowd control. He's going down on this one. The shutdown going to Chris, a very much needed chunk of change.
Yeah, and you can see how Chris was getting extremely desperate there. He bought up the Doran shield and a blue elixir. Now a charm landing onto Vile Rose means half his health is gone.
I thought Mega Zero has like 3 kills in this game because there's been so much action, but
yeah,
not a shutdown. It is good gold that Chris needed, though. So they're looking to get the turret. Is when you don't drop it, right? You leave your lane, and then they drop your turret. So vice versa, the bottom lane, Velocity Esports looks to drop the bottom turret, have a little bit more pressure on this Dragon now. We'll have to see if they use that to their advantage.
Yeah, great answer for them. They really need to get that one down, but it looks like they won't be able to hold off as Claky D now just walking down bottom. 3 people means that they're going to have to call Nasus if they want to keep this turret any longer.
And this is, you almost have to preempt a fight here because that turret's low. One shot's going to take it down. You can see they're walking away now. They know it's going to happen.
1 shot, 1 kill. Is he going to do it? No! Yes! The Lantern! It's 2 shots. Oh, so sad. He didn't have the power for 1. They are going to take that out, though. Evens up the bottom map control here, and they do shove the lane as they leave, too. So now that you have that one down, you can rotate your AD and support up to the mid tower, and that'll probably be the next area of focus as they want to leave Mega Zero in his 1v1 heads up as long as possible without people interfering, because if you leave him to his own devices, he'll win.
Yep. Now, everybody's going to win. Like we said, the laning phase, anybody left to their own devices is going to do good. And as we look in the inventory, we see the Infinity Edge at 14 minutes, picked up right now by Niantanso. He also has, 3 points in his rapid fire, which gives him another 60% attack speed, which equals a roughly 1,200 gold that's just on a queue. So he's not even needing that yet.
Yeah, exactly. So Infinity Edge completed for him. That's just going to be pain for Maple Street here. But we just saw, like I said, the AD and support, those guys roamed middle for a second, and there was an attempt at a gank from Heartbeat, which I think could have been played a tiny bit better. He flashed and then tried to throw out the death sentence. You can actually charge up the death sentence animation and then flash. So it's much quicker, and it doesn't give your opponent time to move.
They're trying to pull Mega Zero into a fight up top. There's the shield off. He does blow the wind slash, so they know they can be a bit more aggressive here. They do pull Claky D towards that top lane, but looks like MRN is actually holding it slow. They don't have the Claky D ultimates in Stand United right now. They're kind of waiting to really make something off of that once more.
Yes, they don't want to get too overconfident here. Their LCS spot is on the line, and they are not going to let it go without a fight.
Looks like Blue is going to be going over to Vile Rose here. We'll see what he can start to do with his team. He just really had great, we'll say, dances in 1v1s, 2v1s, 3v1s when he was helping the team with luck. So that blue buff on him is really going to put them in a better fighting position. Ward's going down. They're being extra safe on this one. Doesn't catch anybody. Loosen Singularity is going to keep vision on that. It looks like they're going to go in. They may not get it. Echo tries to push them out so they don't go for the Dragon. He gets his team Dragon really with that move right there. Goes back into the fight. The box goes down from Heartbeat. They may be able to take out Velocity here, but whoa! Blue health bars turn in red, and Marn gets taken down in the fight. Dragon does not matter that much anymore.
That was a good zoning tactic by Echo there. He drew everyone away, and he knew since he had the mobility and calling for the Stand United shield from Shen. But now Niantanso really in trouble as they miss a couple skill shots. He's running as quick as he can.
Jump Niantanso, there's the rocket. It's going to be the last few auto attacks, and they will be able to get out of this one. The Bear's piercing arrow too far off. They get out with the Dragon, losing 3.
Oh, who says Yordles can't run fast? Look at those short legs pumping right there. Niantanso dodges every single skill shot right there. If he had missed one of those, he would have dropped for it. No wonder he had over 1,000 challenger points.
Absolutely. So he picks up the attack speed now. He was looking forward to get himself some more points in the KDA ratio, 4-0-2. That would have been his 1 death and a big shutdown for somebody. So he prevents that as well. And they are now 8-8, actually, even in kills. This has been a bloodbath of a game, almost a kill a minute coming in. And the gold is almost even. It's 800 as the deficit for Velocity now. 1 turret apiece. These guys are going at each other's necks, not objectives.
Yeah, we were talking about this game being closer than the last games, and that's a bit of an understatement here. It's about as close as it gets.
Ooh, there's the ultimate getting away. And there's going to be a lot of that, I feel. A lot of quick disengages in this, and the team resetting. Vile is absolutely loud right now. You can see him once he's back on the screen just completely saying, get this, back up. 2 wards again for Velocity. 2 wards won in the fight last time. They got to be safe.
Yeah, they need to keep... That's been so popular, dropping down the lane wards as soon as you take out that turret, because it gives you so much vision. The only thing here is Heartbeat's got a 17, 18-minute oracles already, and so he just immediately clears those out.
That oracle sitting on top of his Philo as well, so he can just pretty much get the mat or the gold back over time from that generation. 18 minutes into this one, Marn looks to pretty much cancel out the laning phase here. They're going to start grouping in mid, and they're going to start trying to take down this mid objective turret. That first tier 1 is going to be big, since they just lost one of theirs.
They're having to tank it here, though. Only so many shields, and now the laser comes out to try and clear. They do answer back, but the pressure from Velocity, since they weren't mid, they've been able to push both side lanes.
So they keep that gold there. The side lanes are going to start putting pressure on Marn, as you said, and now they're trying to react to this. They're sending Niantanso bottom. This takes Marn pretty much out of fight phase right now because they need all of that AoE they're bringing to the table.
I don't usually get surprised by item builds any longer in the LCS, but look at this Lichbane rush from Echo here. He wants to get into the fights. We saw him at the Dragon getting deep into the enemy team. He wants to use all of the procs of his ultimate to get extra Lichbane hits and make use of that Ahri auto attack.
Well, they're going up top. They have wards down. You can see them pinging this one out, and they're saying be very careful in whatever position you're in. Mid is now open, and we're objective free on the map. So they're looking for mistakes, and they're looking for kills.
That Lichbane also, you know, the more I think about it, the more I like that thing. Yes, it does give you the extra move speed too, and he's gonna have to be sneaky here because Velocity are looking for picks. They've designed their team around grabbing people with skill shots. Chris has his cocoon he'll be constantly throwing out. Vile Rose does the exact same thing, and then Maple Street can follow up any of those with his Chains of Corruption.
Right. And you know what's, you say follow up, and I was just thinking of it as I look at Marn's team, is the fact that they all can gap close. If somebody flash initiates, sometimes you're like, whoa, dude, you're over wall. That's not going to work. But everybody can get into that fight. And that's scary. Velocity has to react instantly.
Yeah, and if their initiator is Heartbeat on that Thresh with, you know, going on off a death sentence, he can bring buddies with him, throw that Dark Passage right over his shoulder.
So Marn coming in with a very formidable fight team here in the mid game. We already said Niantanso is kind of off the wall at this point, 4-0-2, looking to finish up the Phantom Dancer right after, as I believe Rapid Fire 4 points in, so he's looking to get that 90% attack speed. Mega Zero going hard onto Chris. Chris, you are out of mana, good sir, but they're going to fight and try to bait this in as it comes from the mid. Vile Rose is coming in as well. Mega Zero looking for the Shen. Oh, Shen comes in, but Shen may stop. No, he comes in. He is going to go for the fight here. Clayky D is going to be forced to run back. Echo did not make a move in mid.
Oh, a little bit of a bait there, and Mega Zero drops too fast. The shield, it lasts the whole time, so that Claky gets enough time to arrive there, but he's already dead, and so it's a 1 versus 2. They can't turn it around. That's a huge cooldown down for MRN. Plus, they got the kill anyway.
So with the Bloodthirster now on Mega Zero, they're focusing him. He's not getting a chance to stack it. Does it ever come around that that's going to kind of bite you?
Yeah, and it looks like it is biting him now because, you know, after that 1 kill solo with Chris, he hasn't got any more heads up 1 versus 1. They aren't giving that to him. Turns out, you know, this is a team game, and people will punish you if you're winning your lane. So you have to be a bit more careful after that. And Mega Zero, you know, he's still going full offensive and taking these fights, but he hasn't been able to make anything happen since the first kill.
One thing we should point out about Velocity as well, the burst that their team, you know, somewhat brings to get the percentage damage from VES. Vile Rose built that Athenes and then has a Fiendish, but then has the pieces for a Rabadon. So he's like, you know what? I took out a loan and I'm just going to recipe everything together.
Yeah, it's such a good feeling on Lux if you do rush your death cap and being able to 100% somebody. And you have to think about the team that you're playing. Okay. Tristana is ridiculously fed. All of Marn's money, or most of Marn's money, is on that Trist. So if we can somehow snag her out with any of these picks that we were talking about before and completely burst her down to 0, we'll win the team fight. Because that Tristana is basically carrying Marn.
Right, so with Velocity getting Dragon, we can also see that Marn is kind of thinking exactly how you are as well. They're going for the Tristana. Claky D rushes that Bulwark, also gets some more tank on him with the Giant's Belt as the Dragon and Turret are trapped. Velocity grabs a good amount of gold and pulls 1,000 into the lead, or 500 into the lead rather.
Yeah, Bulwark is just a necessary buy at this point because not only are they running double AP for Velocity, but they also have VES as their AD who actually does a lot of magic damage as well.
So we see that Rabadon's finished up. NASA's picking up the Ancient Golem, or the Spirit of the Ancient Golem, I should say. And Chris, he did build that Seeker's Arm Guard, but then he said, I need more armor. I'll build the Sunfire Cape.
Yeah, he's definitely itemizing for that lane since he got pushed around so early.
Absolutely.
He itemized for it, and he had to call backup, but it paid off. Even if you lose out your lane like that, we talked about the team aspect here, and it definitely paid off for them as they finally secure the gold lead for themselves.
All right, Kobe, so a bit like 19, 20 minutes, actually it's 17 minutes, right? It said it's almost a kill apiece. It was 8-8. Why is it slowed down so much?
Because of the turrets that have fallen. Anytime, you know, the outer ring goes down, it makes people a lot more cautious. And since we've seen these early oracles from both teams, they've been clearing out all the vision, and it makes you second guess yourself a lot more. You know, we saw Mega Zero get caught out, and they don't want to make those same mistakes where he gets overextended.
Oh, what do you mean, like this? Mega Zero just on the outside, but Marn, again, Echo moves in. He completely stopped NK Inc. from moving in to initiate. Mega Zero throws himself in the fire, tries to get out as Chris executes. He finally gets the kill. The box is down, and Echo has just done so much damage to the back line. Claky D goes in as Neontanzo finishes 1 kill for himself. Shen going down to the backside as he gets himself out. Claky D, you're crazy, but you finally went down. NTNT. His heartbeat going in for the grab. NK Inc. is trying to get these kills down. A double kill coming in for Chris. He looks for the third. It's Neontanzo. He's pretty big, but he does not have the red buff that Chris does. They're going to be able to kite this one down. A shutdown coming in for Vile Rose. Echo takes a big hit there from Elusive Singularity, but gets out alive.
Marn wanted to save all their shields for that Tristana because they knew that all the power was on her, but since Claky saved his Stand United all the way to the late game, he was standing in the rest of Team Velocity while he's channeling his Stand United, and you can't do that as the tank. He was just getting beat down while he's putting this shield on Tristana. It didn't actually help them all, and Neontanzo was not able to carry that one.
It was a good idea.
It was a good idea.
But nobody was hitting him for the shield.
Yeah.
A great fight there. It was all out, and you can see that was close. Everybody was able to use their full kit maybe 2 to 3 times in that fight. Echo was in and out. We saw how much damage he did. Doesn't have the Zonias yet. Imagine. He's built the Seeker's Arm Guard now. It's coming to fruition there. The Rabadon's is finished, like we said, on Lux. He looks to go for a little bit, maybe even a Void after this. I don't know if he's going to finish the Morellonomicon or not, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Or the Athenes, rather.
One of the
Either
most
or.
important part about that is that cooldown reduction. He's got that with the Phoenix Codex. So once he's at that breakpoint, he's like, yes, I need more power. I've been bursting people down. This laser feels really good when I get multiple people with it. But we talked about, you talked about Chris also with all that armor and build. He's more effective than Mega Zero has been in these team fights. So even though, you know, Chris was getting pushed around in the lane solo, since he's called help for his team and he did the right thing, you know, he's having a much greater effect when it does come to these 5 vs 5s. And Mega was on the front lines there, but as full damage, he got burst down pretty quickly.
And we can see with that build too, Chris was able to kind of go back to where he wanted to in the first place. The Haunting Guise is now something he has. Going out to harass there. Heartbeat tries to put himself up front, maybe get another box out, but the ultimate is down. So that was just good pressure.
This is going to be very interesting because I don't think Velocity want to tower dive. They do have the upper hand, but it's going to have to, they're going to have to wait still for one of the picks that we were talking about, either the Chris Cocoon or the Val Rose Light Binding.
We'll see what they can get in first. Good damage coming out from Vile Rose. Kind of squeaking up here. We'll see if he is rocking that blue buff. And he does not have it for his team, but he does have that blue elixir on. So you can see that they're already spending that last bit of gold now on elixirs to start getting more damage in the fight. We'll have to see what next items they can complete, as it looks like they are about to go head-to-head. It's just Velocity baiting something out here.
Yeah, that Baron Ward just saving saving Marn from making any missteps right now. They know what Velocity are planning. They're not going to walk into this one, and so they're going to take a breather here, try and get a little bit more farm close to their base, and then they'll have to group up as 5 to regain that vision. They have to go, you know, on this scouting trip with all 5 members to clear out some of these wards from Velocity and place them, replace them with their own.
So, considering what things, you know, can actually happen, with seeing Chris down to the bottom, should there be, you know, quick activation or quick movement here from Marn to try and single somebody out, or they're just not at that point yet?
See, they would love to have their Shen split pushing and go heads up with Chris. They're like, yeah, we'll trade you someone who can join the team fight
they're trying to
for
now.
someone who can't. But the only thing is, it's a jungle Shen, and he's not that strong right now. You know, 0-3, it's going to be dangerous for him to go up against Chris. If Chris has mana, he could easily kill Clicky. So they don't actually have that threat of the split pushing Shen.
See if Shen can get back to that. Clicky D is looking to soak up the experience from that bottom lane. The rest of the team sticking together because they know these battles are going down to the last person standing. We're going to see more vision onto the Dragon here. Looks like Velocity will actually take this without any contest.
This should be an easy pickup here for Velocity, even though they have 2 members not with them. Marn don't know that. They don't have vision inside the pit, and so if they go and check, they'll be very scared when checking. Mega Zero's not scared, just kidding. He's
best driven NA, man.
He's
not
a face
scared.
checker.
Again, Marn puts himself. Wow, they are headstrong on this one. Oh no, they get it. They get the smite down. Clicky D grabs that, and they are to safety. That was pretty good.
Yeah, so Marn, they did have knowledge that there was one person not with the rest of the team, and they were like, yep, well, that's enough. We're not going to give up any more objectives. We can't let this game slip away from us. So Mega Zero, very decisive play right there. Love the call. It rewards them with the Dragon. They stop Velocity and get it for themselves.
And there's the turret in the top lane. Chris putting on the frenzy with the little spiders to get him some damage on that turret. And they will take it down. 10-13 here, so the kills starting to increase once again. We see those full items built. Everybody feels a little bit more confident to get into these fights here at 29 minutes. 42,000 to 44,000. Velocity is holding a definitive lead now after being down about $1.5 grand for quite some time.
Yeah, you know, they gave up that Dragon very quickly, but that was the right choice. They didn't want to fight the 4 vs 5, and they traded a secondary turret for this. That's actually, you know, a bit better of a trade for Velocity. They do have the blue buff on Vile Rose, who barely is just inches away from death, just staring death in the face right there as Heartbeat comes up short with the Q.
Looks like they will continue the pressure. One is backing, but they haven't been able to press too many forward wards down. With that top turret being in there, they really can't mess around too much. It actually closes off quite a bit of their escapes if they try to get behind the Baron.
Yeah, and the escapes are going to be very, very dangerous here. Even if MRN are able to get back into their jungle, being in one of those corridors is very dangerous because Vile Rose, he has completed that Athenes that you were talking about. That comboed with a death cap means his line damage could hit the entire team right there, and he'll be firing those off. He has 40% cooldown reduction, so he's maxed that out with the blue buff. MegaZero wants to make a play on Maple Street.
There are the chains of corruption, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to run this one out. It's going to be enough for a while. There's a lot of things being used on him and a lot of attention being brought here. It looks like the rest of Velocity backs off. Niantanso picks that one up, making himself 6-1-3.
It's late enough in the game that they could go for a Baron here. They have an Oracles. The problem is that they just saw Chris down bottom and that he recalled early enough he could get here in time. And MegaZero's already at half, Heartbeat's at half. Very dangerous.
They still have the Oracles. No need to push. They don't know where the rest of the wards are. They want to clear that out really and keep pushing. They don't want to be too aggressive, I should say, right now on the Baron, because we've seen it be the bane of many teams in the end.
So we stopped talking about Niantanso for a little bit there.
Yeah.
But look at this. He has that 3 items that the really core 3 items that you want on your Tristana. The Phantom Dancer Infinity Edge combo, plus the armor penetration of Last Whisper. And he's got lifesteal, so he's at the point where they're ready for these late game team fights. This is late game Tristana. Even though he's only level 16 right now, he has all the power that he needs. And all that MRN have to do is defend him and not take too much damage on the front lines. While they're doing so, him showing bottom though means Velocity are going to try this Baron.
They do have the Nass Assault going down, but they don't have a lot of damage to kind of go with it and complement. Yeah, it's going to bring the Baron down to half, but look at this. Evaniscus is down as well. They're going to see that they're fighting Baron, and Baron has quite a bit of HP left. 2,600 there. The laser goes off. 700 down. It's going to go down to NK Inc. NK Inc. on Nasus. They go in for the fight. Heartbeat onto Maple Street, and they take him down. Niantanso gets a double kill right off of that. Oh, he gets hit up by Lucent Singularity, cleanses it out. The Baron is chugging right now on Velocity Esports. They want to get out with as many members as possible. MegaZero kind of hugging up against the wall, kills a little bit of his distance, and they may find Chris in this bush. They will not. Sneaky Spider gets up the spout.
Oh, Chris escapes. Let the sun come out. They get away with the Baron, but they lose 2 members. 2 fallen soldiers, and it means that MRN have control of the map. They're going to try and keep pushing this top lane.
Niantanso just behind his team, and that's the spot he needs to be in. Going towards the front would be very dangerous. You see it's Vile Rose and Chris there on Lux and Elise, 2 of those members that are looking to grab you out, because NK Inc. is right behind as well.
Yeah.
So that Baron is sitting on 3 Kobe. Is this defensive Baron for them, or can they use it?
They can definitely use it as soon as the rest of their team joins up. You know, they've got the wave clear with just those 2 AP characters that there's no chance that MRN can push onto that extra turret. They don't even want this fight at this point, and they're going to have to play more defensively. It's very easy to play defensive at this point in the game because there's nothing up right now that they have to fight for.
Right.
There's no reason that they have to put themselves into a bad situation. So until that dragon comes up, MRN don't have to go anywhere.
We'll have to see how Velocity takes this, as they know with it slowing down where they're going to start placing the wards. We can see Evaniscus pushing in, throws one down, and it's throwing down Vision wards as well. So they have a Vision in mid, and they put a Vision just below Wraiths with a regular ward on Wraith as well. So they're just putting that security system in the bottom jungle.
It's exactly what you do when you have the upper hand like this. They want to make use of the time that they're controlling the whole map. I said it's easy for MRN to play defensively. To do that, they have to give up control of the entire area here. So they're just going to send that Shen to split push top because they know all members of Velocity down here and nobody's going to go kill Clicky D. So he's fine trying to get as many free minion kills as he can while the rest of the team tries to hold off this onslaught.
That's not going to be very much, though. That's kind of like the same cooldown. Actually, Vile Rose is going to get his back. A very nice light binding. It almost kills MegaZero because it locks down the team. They can't gap close like I said they could before, and they make it look so painful on Velocity's side, but so easy as well.
Looks like they need a little bit more tank here for Team MRN. MegaZero does not have the tankiness to withstand the frontline damage here, so Velocity come out, trading their AD carry for 2, but that means they're also going to get this bottom turret.
Pushing on that so strong. Just that Zhonya's being down, knowing they could engage. Lux now with laser or final spark back up again. and they're going to go ahead and push this second turret. So much power coming from these 3 champions plus Lulu supporting in the back.
Yeah, we have Clicky. He was trying to get work done up top, but you can't give up your inhibitor turrets. This is the last line of defense. They want to scare him off here, so they immediately recall their Shen, bring him back down, and they aren't able to answer up top for the bottom turret that they lost.
And oddly enough, Martin's lanes are pushing, which is really helping them out once they can actually get off of this and find some ground to move around in their own jungle. Right now, they're in pretty much a blackout situation where they don't even have vision.
Yeah, that was very decisive win there for Velocity. You can see just Megazord got exploded, plus the Stand United was burned.
Yeah.
But that was probably the last team fight that we'll see Velocity wearing the Baron buff. It's about to run out in another 30 seconds here. So MRN, they've semi-successfully stalled it out until that Baron buff is gone. They did lose a few key objectives, but they still have plenty of potential to win a team fight. If Mega Zero's not the one at the focal point here, if he's not the one diving in, if they can actually have Echo, going in and baiting out some spells here from Velocity, making offensive use of that Zhonya's Hourglass, then they'll be just fine because Ni and Tanso can dish out the damage.
So what's up with the Chris's buy on the Spirit of the Spectral Wraith here coming in?
Like everyone said, it's such a popular item. All of the jungle items, the spectral, the lizards, all the ADs are buying those ones, and a lot of APs are actually buying the Spirit of the Spectral Wraith. It gives that spell vamp, which is, not very many items in the game come with that, and it's just a cost-effective package. Elise's kit works so well with cooldown reduction that pretty much every stat on that works really well for her. Ooh, and now he completes Azania's Hourglass for himself, so he can actually repel into a team fight and then still have a defensive mechanism if he does start taking a lot of damage.
And this is really a kudos to Chris as well, because we looked at that lane before. Look at it now. He's up in CS by 13. He's also just built the Zhonya's on top of the Sunfire, on top of that Spirit of the Spectral Wraith reset. He is completely in this game from losing his lane.
Yeah, Mega Zero, he didn't get the ganks for his lane. He did get, a Shen Stand United,
yeah, right.
But it really wasn't the same here. Chris definitely shining in the team fighting phase, and it looks like he may just block out Mega Zero completely.
And that's what you said, right? Chris is going to be more kind of a formidable tank in the fight. Does Mega would have had the option to build that way as well, though?
I mean, Riven usually builds full damage because she does get more points on her shield. Here goes the initiate.
They get Vile Rose. This is perfect, but Mega Zero gets locked up. They can't get the back line enough. Maybe they're trying too hard as well. Vile Rose could go down. It's Clanky D and Echo coming out strong on this one. That's going to be enough damage. Neontanzo and Chris head-to-head here. If he gets that execute, he may be able to lock him up. The Flay does not hit. Chris goes for Zhonya's. They make it out easy there. Clanky D and Echo coming up big on the backside, and Chris could go down here. The Foxfire hitting up the minions. The repel will go out for the camp, and it looks like he makes it out safe, but a great fight overall for Marn.
Yes, Marn's strategy worked out perfectly there. They had everyone dive to the back line to take out Vile Rose, and the only reason that they could do that and just abandon Neontanzo is because they were fighting at a turret. So Neontanzo could use that turret and Heartbeat staying back with him as his defenses. He didn't need people to peel for him. So the rest of the members of Marn were free to dive that back line. They spent everything to take out that Lux. Worked out perfectly for them. Neontanzo did not even end up going down, even though Chris got him very close.
And Trist is big. Oxymoron of the day. He is 348 CS, 10, 1, and 3 to a 278, 2, 6, and 9. 80 carry on the opposing team. That's Maple Street. And it's really been a great game for both teams. It's just Neontanzo has had the opportunities that his team is giving him and has had the chances to create impact situations by himself.
Yeah, everyone just raves about late game Tristana, and now we're gonna see why. Not only does he have the items, but he's got level 18, so he's got the range.
Yep.
Because his passive, every level you scale up with your range. It's up to 703 now, and he's got a red buff plus red elixir. So he's pretty much just completely pimped his ride right there, and he's gonna be as powerful as he's gonna get. Chris now taking a lot of fire.
Uh-oh, Chris is actually getting driven downtown on this one. It looks like he's going to find the full team. Evanescence on the backside, taking a lot of damage. 3 shots coming in. Actually, it was only 2 in the red buff to come off onto Evaniscus there. And they back off saying that is a scary Yordle. They're going to be looking for Baron here. They do have the Oracle inside the pit, Kobe. It's going to be hard to contest.
Oh, looks like Chris's final mistake there, getting caught, is going to cost them. They're going to try and steal this Baron with the combo.
And they got it. One of the biggest amounts of damage you can have. It's 10 times 10 the ability power and your level, and it's just, that's huge passive damage coming from Lux. A good steal, and this is big for Velocity.
He stole it with the combo. That combo is beastly. Just her final spark. This is not taking into account the passive or the Lucent Singularity or the light binding. Just that laser is 900 magic damage.
Not even counting the extra damage that's going to come out on the backside, another 190 plus. Niantanso taking out the turret with his team. They're looking for the first inhibitor. It is a best of 5, so Velocity retaining everything that's happening here and using it for these next matches. But this one isn't over. That Baron is still chugging. They got a good 3.5 minutes left on it.
Yeah, so they did steal the Baron. Grats, guys, but they lost their inhibitor. So now, since there's nothing left on the map, it's that same situation where it's easy for MRN to defend. They just have to retreat to their inhibitor turrets and put up their wall of defense and defend at their turrets, which they did so effectively in the team fight before.
So as we look around, we see Maple Street picking up the Guardian Angel, and actually 3 items in. So it's going to be his 4th item, kind of different for Tristani. Do you think that is a good buy for him?
It's a decent buy, but the inhibitor turret taking so much damage, it looks like MRN making their move.
They are going to want this one. Kobe going in. Echo's going to be the first one. He has Clickety right by his side, and they're kind of just waiting this one out. Beta Breath on both sides. They finally find the Zonia's off, and they're going hard. Maple Street could be going down to the left side. It's going to be dropped on. Niantanso Omega Zero. Drop the Guardian Angel right away. It doesn't even really help him. Nobody's even there to get him. They have pulled him into the choke point, and now they're pushing Velocity back out. Good damage from Vile Rose. Why are they pushed off to the side? They're separating themselves. If Vile Rose can stand on the back, they're going to be able to keep pressuring this. Triple kill coming from Niantanso. He finally breaks out of that backside. The choke point is no longer there. Another jump coming in. Kenny had the speed to get it. Lulu, no mana to speed herself up. The ward goes out, but you can't jump to a ward. Who's going to do that? You're Shen. He's Tristana, and they may not be able to make it. It's such a run, but he has some damn good Nikes on, and Evaniscus makes it out.
Oh, both Yordles. Very, very good escapes this game, but it's so sad the Penta timed out there anyway, so if they caught him up, they wouldn't be able to get it. They're going to go ahead for the win instead. Consolation prize, Nexus turret.
I don't know, man. Can you win with a cupcake? Evaniscus has a lot of abilities to use here, but it looks like, yes, MRN is going to be able to take down his last few turrets. You see Evaniscus taking 3 shots to the backside, almost absolutely killing him. 7 seconds on Maple Street. The rest of the tanks up 20 or above, and it looks like MRN is going to be able to take game 1 here of the promotion game in the best of 5 series.
Exactly what MRN wanted to do. I talked about retreating back to their base and playing the exact same team fight over again. It was actually a different team fight because they only had Echo diving onto the backline Vile Rose there, and he distracted 4 members of the team. Building the unique way that Echo did was very effective there because he dove in and then he had the free time with the Zanyas to be able to survive a little bit longer. It bought MRN the time to take out Maple Street. Once that huge damage source was off the field, Niantanso was able to clean up with that Quadra.
And really great use of a full dive friend composition. Everybody on this team could get in if they needed to, and we saw how effective it was in the last fight. Echo was the first one to fly through everyone. He just kind of squeaked in through the right side, and as you said, Niantanso stayed back by the turret because that was his friend for the fight. And instantly, it was Clicky D there too, and they were able to just play with the back line. Nobody had a chance there, and we saw Chris trying to fight Niantanso, and they got so split every time. Just having people that could actually gap close, which is we usually see a Jarvan go in and nobody can be there.
You have to say they did an amazing job peeling for Niantanso on the last team fight too.
Absolutely.
Heartbeat got bursted down to 50 HP at the beginning of the team fight, but stayed around. He didn't go back to the fountain. He just waited around for his opportunity and then landed the late death sentence to lock up Chris right there and barely just give Niantanso the edge, and it was beautiful. Very, very, very bold play there from Heartbeat, and he did what his job. He supported his AD carry perfectly.
All right, so game 1 under. Coming up, Velocity returns to the Rift to try to even up the series, while another win for Team MRN puts them just 1 victory away from the LCS Summer Split. Plus, Good Game University's Don't Mask Me joins us to drop some knowledge. 2013 Summer Promotion Tournament. We'll be right back. Stick around.